What's up, guys? Welcome to the Open Late Podcast. Happy Hump Day. Hump Day! We're all Humpty Dumpty fine and dandy out there in the world today. In this episode, we sit down with a videographer and talk about the video production industry and what we value most about what we do, and maybe even some tips about what has helped us along the way. So give it up for the one and only Kris Barclay. Well, it's funny how different, your personality changes within a few years.
Oh, yeah.
When you start, think of you, when you start, 18 years old, right out of high school, your priorities are very different from what they are now.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I luckily went to school for engineering, so something still in that manufacturing, making something. So I was able to keep some of the knowledge learned from school with that.
Yeah.
But when I transitioned over to video, it was like I'm still hands-on. It's still a hands-on craft rather than something else.
Yeah. It was like for me, I went to when I was like in high school, everyone's like, what do you want to go to school for? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I guess I always liked advertising and marketing.
Yep.
So I was like, I'll go to advertisement, graphic design. I did one of like those like college prep classes.
Yeah.
Where you go over to the community college and you do like, I did the graphic design and stuff like that. Learned like some of the Adobe stuff on that end, and then got into like logo design. And I was like, this is kind of cool. Like I could like design shirts and stuff, stickers and all that.
Yep.
And then, but I've always been into cameras, and I've had cameras in the household forever. And then got to the point where I was like, I want a camera. I want to do photography like everybody does. Like everyone's like, photography is the thing to do.
Did you come from like a photography family? Did your dad?
No, my dad's like a techie computer guy.
Yeah.
So like we've always had like computers and tech and like random cameras. Like my first camera I ever touched was like this square Canon that you put a floppy disk into it.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, that's old style.
Yeah. So like you'd get like 20 photos, and I'd go to like the local hockey games and like take photos from, and just think I was like the coolest person ever. The backlit screen, it was like this big, and like,
oh my gosh,
literally you just put a floppy disk in it, and then you pull it out, put it in the computer, and you have like 20 pictures.
It's insane. We just at work, we were fixing one of our 3D printers, and it's 25, 30 years old or whatever. Yeah. And we looked at what it was running on from memory, and it was a floppy disk. It was like, what is the file size on those? 25 megs or something like that?
It's like super small.
I'm like, you couldn't take one raw photo with this thing.
No.
It's just crazy.
No. And we still have those. We have like 2 or 3 of them. And they're like Sony brand and like all this stuff, and like they're crazy because like they're just like this cube looking thing, just a little bit bigger than a floppy disk.
Yeah.
Mad. And then like I got my family picked up a Sony Cyber Shot or whatever, like the action cam.
Yep.
For like a family camera, and like I kind of just hoarded it, and I like took it. I was like, this
really?
is mine now. I went to a car show, Import Alliance in.
Oh really?
It was like 2011, I think, and I took it with me. We had like 7 of us down in like a Honda Odyssey van, and we all cruised down there. And I made a video, and I actually came across that video the other week, and I watched it, and I was just like, oh man.
You've come a long way.
It's just like shooting with a camera, and then knowing like because like I didn't go to school for it, but just knowing and like learning from YouTube and other people, and like just knowing how to shoot better, and then you get like better cameras. Not that like you need a better camera, but like you go from something in 2011 to today, like it's crazy.
You're always stepping it up because such new stuff is coming out. You're almost afraid to buy a new body now because in 2 years it's like, gosh, that $6,000 body that I just bought is now going to be $2,000, and the best of the best stuff coming out is that $6,000 price mark. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to keep up with the times of technology, for sure. And that's kind of why I dove, 2 feet in with that 1DX, because it's been around for so long, but it was kind of on that line is it even relevant anymore? Every camera shoots 1080 slow-mo and 4K, and but yeah, there's still some perks about it, that stand out.
Yeah. Like for me, I bought, so my first camera was a T3i, which is like, I'm learning that like everybody had that camera. And I had that forever. And then I was at a car show, because like cars were a big thing for me. I'm a big car guy. So like shooting cars was a big deal, following YouTubers that like do car videos and stuff. And like I had a gimbal, which was like a big deal because I didn't know what a gimbal was at first. I ended up buying one, wires hanging everywhere. It was like original like Came TV off-brand one.
Yep.
And I had that with my T3i, and then I had a guy come up to me at this car show, and he was like, "We want you to shoot with our media team. We just need extra footage, and but you should really look into getting something full frame." And I didn't even know what full frame was at the time. Like I had a camera. I was ready to go. And then he had a Sony don't think he had an A7. Maybe he might have had like the A6300 or whatever it was at the time.
Yeah.
And I just saw like that Alpha logo on his camera, and I was like, I'm going to research what that is, and I'm going to buy it.
Yep.
And then I researched it, found out that Sony, the A7 was coming out like that summer, or it had just come out or something like that. Saved up some money, went to Best Buy and bought it. Didn't even like order it. I literally walked into Best Buy with my like my credit card or whatever, and bank card, and bought it. I was like, I can't wait for the 2-day shipping to get here. I was like, I want it now. And I had a wedding to shoot that weekend. I bought it, and I still used the T3i because I was afraid, because I had never used the A7. I didn't know the difference between mirrorless and all that stuff. So like I had it for like a week before I even like did anything with it.
Yeah. It does seem like everybody started with that T series, that Canon T series.
Yep.
I was different. I started with the Lumix GH4.
Okay. Yeah.
And another beginner camera that a lot of people start with. But is any of that T line, is that any full frame?
I don't think so. I mean, I know they're all the way up to like 7.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know if they're the 7i. Maybe they are. But yeah, I don't think so. I think it's all crop.
And that Sony you shoot on is full frame, right?
Yeah. The A line is full frame. But like even now, my A7 that I still have is like 4 cameras old, 5 cameras old now. And I bought that in like 12 or 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Maybe. And now they have like the A7S, the A7R, the A7R2, S2, R3, A7 III.
Yeah.
Everyone's waiting for the S3 to come out because that's like going to be a big video shooter. Yeah. That's what I'm waiting for.
Are there any photographers that really use Canon, or is it mainly video? Or I'm sorry, Sony.
There's like I know some people because like the R series of Sony is like a big photography, like a lot of megapixels over like the S series. But then there's also one that like Sony came out with that's supposed to compete with like the 1DX, which is called like the A9. Okay. And it just has a super fast shutter. And like it's made for like sports, like compete with like a Nikon, because like a lot of sports photographers use Nikon and like all that stuff. And I haven't messed with one because like I'm not a photography person, so like I've had no reason to even touch one. Yeah. But I've just seen stuff about it.
So you bought your T3i?
Yeah, T3i.
Right? And then you moved on to Sony.
Yep.
And that's kind of where you sit right now.
Yeah, that's where I sit right now. I'm pretty much all Sony. Even my vlog camera that I have when I shoot my vlogs and kind of stuff that's like day to day is a Sony RX 105 or V. Okay. Yep. And that's you can do it's high frame rate is what it's called. You can do slow motion on it, and it has like the flip up screen so you can see yourself. And it's a one lens. It's not like detachable or anything like that. And
oh, really?
Yeah, it's not like the A63 or 6500s, which is like a smaller crop sensor body. Yep. But it's like you can still change lenses. But the RX 100 line, it's just like a point and shoot. Okay. It has like a focal zoom, like an electronic zoom, so you can go from like, I don't even know honestly, like 50 to 70 or 25 to 70 or something like that, and I think it goes down to like 2.8. Yep. But I honestly shoot that mostly on auto, just for like vlogging, like put it up in my car, talk to it, film some B-roll and call it a day. So I'm not working with like the big cameras and all that stuff. Because
they get heavy. I mean, you're not just putting on a little like GoPro mount anymore, the little GoPro tripods. Yeah. You know, some of those mirrorless cameras you can, but once you get like a 16 to 35 on, it gets real heavy. So weddings were some of the first things you shot? Is that right?
Wedding, so like on my own, I did car videos. Like I go to car shoots, so I was into cars and modified cars, import cars, stuff like that. And I would shoot those and just like nothing fancy, just shoot them while I'm there. And then that was when I got into video. And then just like anyone that's into any sort of photography or video, everyone's like, oh, do you do weddings? Like that's like the first question you get from everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was like, maybe. Sure.
It's a tough thing to test out.
Yeah.
Right? Because, I mean, a car video, you like, don't expect anything. I don't know what I'm going to get out of it. You go, you shoot, you get some cool shots, right? And you bring it back and they're like, oh, real cool. And then you can reshoot if they're interested in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, a wedding,
it's like one
it's
time.
a one and done.
Yeah. Like I second shot a wedding with my T3i. That was like right when I bought the A7.
Yeah.
I think I made like $400, which was like crazy to be a second shooter my first time.
Yep.
And the guy literally handed me, he was like compact flash or SD, and I was like SD, and he was like, all right, here you go. And he handed me one of his cards. I just took pictures all day.
Really?
And then he took the card back from me. And I didn't do any editing. I didn't do nothing. I just took the photos and called it a day.
I've never second shot for a wedding, but I think it'd be nice. I mean, man, it's a lot to go through when you, because every night when I get back from a wedding shoot, you upload everything and it's hundreds of gigs of files. Like it's so much information. So that uploads through the night, and then the next morning it's like, all right, let's start.
And then my thing with like photos in general is like I get bored editing photos. Yeah. Like that was my big takeaway when I was like, am I doing photos or am I doing video? Yeah. Like I can do both, but like I ventured off on the video side because it seemed like you can jump around in a video edit. Like sometimes I'll edit in the middle and then I'll go edit like a talking piece and then bring it in and then edit a B-roll section and like I'm good to go. But with photos, like you can't jump to the end of editing the photo. You have to do it in a process.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you went through wedding videos, some car videos. Yep. And then when did you kind of realize that this is something you wanted to do for a living?
It's always been like in the back of my mind that I want to do something in the media field. Yeah. If that be, or like creative field. Yeah. If that be marketing, graphic design. And then advertisement kind of took like a big thing. I was like, oh, I like who was it? Devin Supertramp.
Okay.
I started watching Devin Supertramp and I was like, I want to do this where like companies will pay me to make a really sweet video for them and whatever I think I want to do. Yep. So like I took that and I was like, okay, I'll start making these videos for people, doing like more of like an event recaps and like more of like a cinematic, like cool side to like a video, if that be a corporate shoot or a wedding or anything like that. I never really got into like the interview-y kind of like sit someone down and have like an A-roll, like what I call it. Yep. A-roll with B-roll. Everything I shot was B-roll. Yeah. So it took me a couple years to kind of get onto that side of like interviewing people. Yeah. Because I was never one to talk much when I was younger. For sure. I was just very shy. So like the fact that I had to interview someone was not what I wanted to do.
People are uncomfortable when you point a camera at them. Yeah. For sure. I mean, I've done a lot of interviews with people, and it's like just recently I started sitting beside the camera and asking them questions and them not look right at. It's so much more natural when you can have a conversation with somebody rather than them looking at. Because even I do it almost every day when I vlog, and I still have a hard time with it.
Like when I learned through my couple years of doing it is that you set the camera up off an angle, you sit down like you're having a conversation with them, and you tell them not to look at the camera. We're just having a conversation. Forget the camera's there. Yeah. And it makes it easier on both of you because like you're just talking to someone, just like what like if I'm interviewing someone for like their group, it's like how are the members? How are this? Like, and they just tell me, and then I just happen to get that on camera. Yeah. And you get more of like a true feeling than them like I have to be perfect because there's a camera on me.
And it's real important to go. Not from a script, but have a conversation with them. Be a really good listener when you're interviewing somebody, and then it just helps it flow so much better. Because I've done that. I've done script work, and I get back in post, and I'm watching stuff and how to flow it in, and you can clearly tell when they start, the answer, and then when they end the answer. And man, if you can just get them a conversation, and you can get them to totally forget about that camera, there you go. Yeah, that's the best.
I learned that all of that stuff. I was doing group videography for like winter drum lines, which is like it's pretty much taking a marching band and then taking just the percussion section, and then they like do a show, just like a marching band in the gym. And it's just the drums marching around and then the front ensemble, which is the pit, playing. And it's like this whole, it's called like sport of the arts.
Yeah.
So it's like they're doing art by like putting on a show, but then they're also like, and then playing the music, but then it's still sports because like it's still heavy activity like going on for like 12 minutes at a time. And I was doing like recap stuff, like because like it's a small community of people. And it's just, you can like make really cool epic videos with it and like put GoPros everywhere. And like I was doing that for a group on the east side of Michigan. And then a producer out of California who does it for, it's called Drum Corps International, which is DCI, follows one of the biggest groups for them. So like they win like almost every year and like all this stuff. They're called the Blue Devils.
Okay.
And they do a thing called BD 360, which is kind of like a YouTube docu-series.
Yep.
And it's like this big thing. Everyone loves it. Like there's all these people that like they watch it. They're ready for it every year. And it follows them behind the scenes of like how these are just normal kids, you know, teenagers who take 3 to 4 months out of the year and just travel the country playing like drum corps shows.
Yeah.
And this producer, his name is, we call him Zap. He got a hold of me because someone one of his guys used to march with the group I was making videos with, and they like liked what they saw. So then he called me, and then like maybe a month later, I'm on a plane out to California.
No shit.
To shoot with them. And they liked my end product.
Yeah.
But like, because I never went to school or anything, all my learning was from like YouTube and just playing with the program. Yeah. So I had like a couple weeks to like learn their process and get in their group without ruining, like sticking to my way of editing and like my feel to the video, but then getting the process down how they do it.
That's a lot to learn at once.
Yeah, so it was a lot, and it took most of the season for me to get it down. There was a lot of revisions and sending it out, but like that was kind of short notice. So I still had like weddings and other things that I had applied for to do media. Yeah. So like I would fly out for like 2 or 3 weeks, get on a tour bus, travel around a couple states, fly out from whatever state I'm in to come back to shoot my thing. Still have to edit some videos while I'm here. Yep. Send them off for revisions. And then fly back out, meet up with them, and like try to find a taxi or an Uber. And like one of them was like I flew into Des Moines, and there was no Des Moines, Iowa, and there was no like taxi service. There was no Uber, Lyft at the time. Oh my God. There was like I ended up they had like a mail runner that had like from the group, and he had to pick me up from the airport. I had to go to Walmart with them because they had to pick up like Gatorade and stuff for the group.
Oh my gosh.
And then I had to get out to the tour bus or where they're sitting. It's just a high school or something. Film them, get a couple interviews, get on the tour bus, sleep for like a 2-hour drive out to their performance, get off the tour bus, film the performance, like film them doing their thing, getting interviews like right before they're going on, just like any other sport or anything. And then get on the tour bus for like I think we had like a 6 or 7 hour drive bus to Buffalo, New York from there. And then we were in Buffalo for like 2 or 3 days and like all this stuff. And
what a wild ride.
Yeah, I learned a lot from that. And like, that was kind of like the turning point for me where it's like, I have to get good at this.
Yeah, for sure. Because you see a future in it, right? I mean, being on a shoot like that, seeing people invest their time and money into you, it's almost like it makes you work a lot harder, and you have to give them a quality product, especially after being a beginner filmmaker and nobody's giving you the time of day, and as soon as somebody invests a little bit of energy into you, you're like, all right, I gotta go all out, do whatever I can do to make this.
Make it work. And like I was working like a part-time job at the time, and I had to like tell them, I was like, I'm not gonna be around for the summer. Like if that's cool, awesome. If not, I guess I don't have a job when I get home. Right. Because I am going.
That's so cool.
Like that was one of those things where it's like, I don't know how hard, like I know this is gonna be hard, but like I can't not, like I have to go. Like I have to go. Yep. And it was like that big thing, and they were just like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. And I'm like, all right, well, bye. Like I had a job when I got home, but it like they weren't super happy, but like in the end it was for the best. So.
Right. So what kind of things, I mean, obviously that's to get started, right? That's to make some money. That's to make, pay the bills. What kind of things, is that the stuff you'd be shooting if you didn't make money? So I always like to kind of question people, what's your passion? Where do you want to go with it? What would you do if money was an option with filming?
Yeah, with filming, I mean, I would, like exactly what I was doing, like really? Traveling around, making like recap videos, and like now that I've gotten more like better at the craft, like getting the like interviews and stuff to make more of like a emotional video. It doesn't always have to be like the crying and like all that stuff, but like just you get more of the human reaction out of like an interview with it, and like making those type of videos is like, I enjoy it. And like sometimes I don't even realize that like it's a paid thing, because I'm just out there doing it, and it just like happens that like some of these jobs it's like there's a paycheck at the end.
That's the best, when you can get wrapped into it and you just, it's for fun. I mean, it's for fun, but you're getting paid, you're able to pay the bills. And I feel like that, man, it doesn't feel like work anymore. No. It really doesn't.
It's great.
And those are the ones you put that extra effort into. If you want to shoot again, you know how well that can look. Like I shoot a lot of wakeboarding, so it's like, if I go to the wake park and I miss a shot, or it's not perfectly in focus, or it's not exactly how I wanted the water to flow when they landed, or whatever it is, I'm okay with them telling, 6 or 7 times. Whereas if it's, something I'm not really interested in, and you might not get your best work out of it. Yeah. No, so it's important to shoot stuff you're passionate about. Yeah.
It's the passionate, like being passionate about it, but it's also like just wanting to do your best no matter what. Like there's been so many shoots I've done where I'm just here because I need a shoot. Yeah. And like I hate to like admit that, but like it's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you're just like, I'm trying to get to something higher and bigger in this craft.
Yep.
And you sometimes have to take the jobs you don't want to take.
For sure.
And a lot of those are like doing weddings and stuff. Like I've done some weddings for some people which were great and super fun. But like at the end of the day, if I never have to shoot another wedding, I probably won't.
And it's satisfaction when you look back at something that large of a film. I mean, a lot of the videos I do are 2 to 3 minutes, and then when you do a wedding video, it's a bigger project. It takes more time, so it's more stress, because you can't reshoot everything. Yeah. And then the whole post editing, there's a long process to it. But you do get satisfaction when you look back at a 7-minute wedding video and the emotion that they get when they watch it. And I get wedding clients constantly texting back where I did their wedding video 6 months, a year ago, and they're like, I've watched it like 10 times and I still like tear up every time I watch it. So being able to give somebody a product like that is really, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. And like the biggest thing I learned about shooting weddings is like being someone who everything I own and everything I've gotten to is mine. I never have enough gear to shoot a wedding.
I know.
If it be lenses or like, and you never can really prep for a wedding. Like you can, but you can kind of prep for like the wedding itself, but then the reception and like all that stuff. I learned that like I did one wedding where I brought 2 lenses with me because I was shooting it on most of it on gimbal, and then I did tripod for like the actual ceremony and everything. Yep. So I can't run I have a Canon L series lens that I adapt to my Sony. I have an adapter for it, which is like my like good lens right now. Yeah. But I can't run that on the gimbal. So like I have it with me, but I don't use it that much because I have to freehand it, or I just don't use it. Yep. But the only lens I had at that time was like a f4. Okay. So like it doesn't bring in much light when ceremonies. When you have a reception in like a hotel like ballroom.
I've been there.
Which like the ballroom was beautiful. It was great, but it's going to be a little grainy. Yep. It's going to be dark, and like I hate seeing grain. Like I'm not a grain fan. Like some people like to put it in, but like I can't do it. I like the crisp, like bright, like a little bright colors. And when I'm filming it, and I'm just like, I know this is going to be a pain in post, but I have to do it because like they hired me, and I have to get them something.
It's one of those kind of shoots that you can't really promise anything. Obviously they need that satisfaction. They need that promise of that you're going to get them walking down the aisle, and all these check marks that you have to hit. But man, stuff can come up. I mean, middle of the ceremony, all of a sudden your battery just is gone, dies, and your bag's at the back of the church, and it's like there's so much that could go wrong. That it's this summer coming up, I'm going to start hiring a lot more second shooters because I just can't rely on, I have one camera always rolling down the aisle and then I have my camera that's on gimbal. But if anything happens, it's like, then you're down to one camera, and having 3 cameras is much safer, and it's a lot more relaxing of having 3 cameras and thinking, what are the chances of 3 cameras failing?
Exactly.
You know, being out of focus.
I did a wedding where there was 2 photographers and then 1 videographer, and I was the videographer.
Yep.
And I had used my Sony on a tripod. It was actually like a balcony shot looking down, so it was like a really cool shot. But I know the Sony only films like 15 to 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
So I would have to, I ended up using my, I think, was it my T3i, I believe? I don't know. It was another camera that I just had, but it wasn't like the best.
Yep.
I set it off on the balcony. I didn't even have a second tripod. On the balcony, and every like 12 minutes, I would hit that record. Oh. So then I would go over to the other camera. So I always had a set shot to go to.
Yep.
To just cut to for like a minute or less.
Yep.
And then click record on the Sony and then edit. It would come back to that. So you get like that cool like cinematic feel to it.
Absolutely.
But where it's like not just a stationary shot the whole time.
Yeah.
But in realistic, it was not like what I wanted. But like it's what I had to do. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, a lot goes into it, and it teaches you a lot of different things. I mean, it teaches you how to do audio. You don't have an audio guy. I mean, when you do weddings, usually that's one of the first kind of shoots that you take on as a filmmaker, and you got to wear a lot of hats with it. Like I said, you got to be the audio guy, you got to be the lighting guy, you got to be 2 different camera operators, you got to be able to produce this whole video and tell a story. So yeah, it teaches you a lot. I think it's a good thing to start with, for sure.
Yeah, it really makes or break a lot of people. I know a lot of people just listening to podcasts and watching YouTube videos, and there's a lot of people when it comes to doing video for weddings that are just like, it was great when I did it, it was good money, but I want to get to the point where I never have to do it again. There are a few people who love it, and like that's great, and like I want to love it because like you can get really cool stuff. The stress and the time that goes into it is a lot.
Okay, so with doing wedding videos at the start, doing some car videos, stuff like that. Yeah. Obviously, that was a while ago. How long ago was that?
I think I bought. So it was like 2011. Okay. 2012. So it's been
you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, like right out of high school, I bought that T3i. Okay. Because like I went to that first car show that I talked about earlier with the Sony like Cyber Shot or whatever it was, and when I left there, I was like, I'm going to buy a camera and I'm going to have a car when I come to the next show in a year. Yep. And I did, and how that came about was I went to community college, and I got a refund, like to go to school, and I walked into the grocery store, local, like Meijer. I walked into Meijer, and bought the T3i with like my little card they give you for school refund, which a lot of people were like not thrilled about that. Right. I think I bought a camera and a laptop, and I was like, well, I bought a laptop. I can use it for school. It's fine. Yeah. So I got that camera and then started doing shoots, started shooting cars, weddings, like we talked about. And then I did a lot of the drumline and like the drum corps international videos and like shooting in that field, which is like if you're in it, it's big, but if you're not in it, you have no idea what it is kind of thing. Yep. And I love doing that, and I still do that occasionally. And then I was just doing like vlogs. And like I got into the vlog scene like when Casey Neistat started doing vlogs and everything. Because one of the big things for me was that I was a shy person when I was a kid. So like I wanted to like get out a little bit more. And so like my idea behind the vlog was not really to get like famous, if you will. Yeah. But like was to like get more comfortable talking in front of people. Yeah. And like it's hard to talk into a camera. Like I'm pretty decent at it now. Yeah. But like I know multiple people who are like super outgoing, who can talk for days, and then you put a camera in front of them and they have no idea what to do.
It's a different game, dude. Yeah. That's the only reason I do it. I mean, I do vlog. I don't want the promotion. Like I like the promotion, but I don't need the likes. I don't need the follows. I don't, that's not the main reason I do it. I've realized just being accountable, holding myself accountable to a set schedule, a new vlog every Monday, a new podcast every Wednesday, and being comfortable in front of a camera, just getting that camera in your face and learning how to talk to it, how to be comfortable. Because like I think my first vlog or whatever, I got a bunch of messages about, and they're just like, who is this? This isn't the Logan we know. You know, he's goofy, he's doing stuff. So it's trying to implement that into your vlogs. And I think that's why I start everyone with an outtake.
Yeah.
Just because it helps out the mood.
I've tried different types of formulas to making vlogs, like doing the whole Casey Neistat way and the Peter McKinnon way. And like, obviously you want to take things here or there. You don't want to copy anyone directly.
Yeah.
But my first vlog, if you call it, was like, I like staged my camera or my computer screens behind me, and I sat in a chair, and I was just like, my name is, and this is my vlog, and I do this, and I'm starting one. Yeah. And then I just did like camping videos. Like when I go camping, I just bring a camera with me, and I'm big on cinematography or like cinematics, not really cinematography, but like videography, like getting the cinematics, getting the cool shots, the B-roll. So like I always to have some talking, have some B-roll, and have some more talking, and then I end it. Yep. That's kind of like my formula. And then I have like an intro and an outro kind of thing, and that's just what I do. And I got, for about a year, it's going to sound crazy, so I got into when Pokemon Go came out. Yeah. I was like, when I was younger, I was super into Pokemon. Okay. It's just like a thing. Yeah. And when Pokemon Go was announced, I was like, this is going to be sweet. Like, I'm going to get it. I don't care if I'm 24, 25 years old, I'm going to play it.
Go for it.
And then I started seeing people, I had this idea to like talk about it on my vlog because it was right around the same time. And then I started seeing other people do it, like being a Pokemon Go vlogger. Uh-huh. So for about a year, I labeled myself as a Pokemon Go vlogger. Really? Where like if you go on my channel, there are videos of me playing Pokemon every single day. It was daily. It was pretty daily. And like I would screen record my phone. Yeah. And of me, hitting gyms, spinning stops, catching Pokemon, whatever. Like it gave me a way to tell a story in my video, because that was always my hardest part of making videos, was like a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yeah. It doesn't have to be like this dramatic story, but like just to have some sort of like meat to the video was so hard for me, because I just wanted to either talk a bunch or film a bunch of B-roll, and there was nothing holding it together.
I think that's why so many people that are getting into the industry so quick pick up B-roll, and you can get some cool shots when you put your, when you have your aperture set right and you get a shallow depth of field. Yep. I mean, some of your B-roll looks really cool. Yeah. But then you kind of step into, how do I make this a story? I can make a vlog every single day and do B-roll of something, whether it's a product or something I'm doing. But it's how do you implement that into your actual story? How do you tell a story with that?
And that's what Pokemon Go gave me, was like they were coming out with like events and like daily challenges and like all this stuff, and then you had gyms that you hit on a daily basis, so you kept going, and like it was just, I was playing Pokemon and I was filming myself doing it, and like a lot of people were like, you don't want to film yourself playing Pokemon, like you're 20 some years old, like, and I was like, whatever,
do it, dude. Yeah.
So I did it. I mean, I don't want to say I got a following, but like I've gotten my channel up to like just under 500 subscribers on YouTube, and a big part of that was because of that. And they have a thing called Pokemon Go Fest every year in Chicago, and I got tickets, and I went down to it, and I filmed it, and that video did really well, and I filmed in Chicago, and like, I did travel vlogging and my Pokemon Go vlogging all in one, and like there was a point where like I hit it, where like it was like kind of slowing down, and like I moved, and like I had all this other stuff happen, and I was like, not that I'm getting very big with it, but I don't really want to be known for making Pokemon Go vlogs as much as it was fun, and like it really gave me like an easy way to like tell a story in my video every day. Yep. So I stopped doing that, and then started doing more cinematic, like regular vlogs. I had a lot of people commenting on my videos saying that you should just drop the Pokemon thing and do the cinematic vlogs. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I should. And then I tried it, and it kind of it did well, and then never really kept up with it. And it was just like, it's a lot to like film a vlog, especially because I was trying so hard. Like I almost went overboard with trying to stick to a schedule where I was like, I have to. And then that kind of was what like ruined it for me in the end. Yeah. So I'm getting back into it. I went to Seattle in January with my girlfriend, and I filmed that. I filmed like a daily kind of like while we're out there, just what we're doing, vlogs. And then I made like a cinematic like 3-minute thing of just like cool shots I got. And then shortly after that, my girlfriend actually sent me a video of a guy looking for a full-time videographer for a company in Grand Rapids.
Yep.
And I didn't really think anything of it. I thought it was just another video, to be completely honest. It was like,
for sure.
He literally was just like, if you know who D-Rock is with Gary Vee, you know, right. Gary Vee is like original videographer. He's like, if you know who D-Rock is, you know what I'm looking for, give me a call. That's literally all he said. He was like walking around his office, like of his like facility.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, is this real? What is this? And then I had found an ad on Indeed for the same job, and I was like, okay, this maybe is a little bit more legit.
Right.
Contacted him, kind of realized what it was, and then like not even a week, like no real resume sent in. He just like he labeled it as he creeped on my Instagram and my YouTube. He's like, that's the power of social media these days. And he was like, within like 2 weeks of like a couple phone calls and one time meeting him in person, he offered me the job as his full-time videographer. Mm-hmm. And he's just an entrepreneur guy, you know, like Gary Vee or anything like that. Like obviously not as high. I mean, because Gary's been doing it for a very long time.
Right.
But he has a very well-built company and he wants to start some other things and he does traveling. So half my job is shooting like product stuff for the company and then the other half is being his personal videographer, pretty much like traveling with him. And it's a full-time gig. Mm-hmm. So like that's kind of like the dream.
Absolutely it is. When I listen to Gary Vee and I talk about D-Rock coming to all of his shows or all of his keynote sessions and stuff like that, I mean, you get to travel with Gary Vee, which is doing so much stuff. He's kind of like the Kevin Hart, the Dwayne Johnson. Yeah. Just always moving. Dude never sleeps. Yeah. Just making the most out of his life. And I think that's the kind of people we really look up to because we want to be able to take advantage of every hour, you know?
Yeah. And that's helped me kind of just be able to do my passion for my job, but it helps me see that there are like good people that are doing really well. Yeah. Like, cause you always hear about those people that are like, I have a lot of money, I have cars, like follow me, do this, do that. But like, you don't see like Gary Vee, you don't see him like flaunting cars and money in your face all the time. Like it's just, you don't have to. And like, it's, you know, he's making good money, you know, he's doing well, but like, you can't hate him for that. Like, because everyone wants to do well.
Well, and he works hard. I think you respect anybody that works really hard. Mm-hmm. I mean, if somebody has really nice things and you see how hard they work, I respect that.
But there's like a level of like, you want to be an influencer, you want to be able to like tell people that like you can do better, but you also can't only do that. You can be like me because I have a Lambo, or you can be like me because I have 10 million subscribers, or whatever. Like, but how? Like, how did you get there? Did you buy them? Did you rent that Lambo? Like, what? Like, you have to see the work put in.
That's the coolest thing about Gary Vee is he's straight out. He's like, let's figure out how to get you there. What are you doing right now? What are you spending your money, time, efforts on? And let's figure it out. Let's get you there. I have nothing to, there's so much room for everybody to be successful that when you look at the amount of people that actually made it, it's like, give back. Tell us how to do it. And really it comes down to putting in the work. Yeah. I mean, it really does. When you, all right, you might have been put in this position, which gave you this opportunity, which blew you up or whatever it was. But there's also a lot of people that you don't ever see that were given the opportunity that, actually made the move to make something viral, and they never put in the work to actually make it go viral.
Yeah, because you always get those people that are like, they make this big viral video, for example, and then they think that they made it. Like they got one video that blew up, and then nothing. And that's like, you got a viral video, but now where's the next one?
Absolutely.
And you got to keep those people entertained. You got to keep those people like wanting to come back to your videos. Like, okay, you made one video where something crazy happened and everyone saw it, but if you're not gonna continue doing something to keep the people entertained or keep the people around, like you're just gonna fall flat.
Yeah. And so I used to be under the terrible misconception that if somebody gives you a shout out, somebody real big like Gary Vee or Peter McKinnon, in case any of those people give you a shout out or even, put you on their video, that all of a sudden you become famous. And so I started kind of researching that a little bit and seeing, because Peter McKinnon every, I don't know, a few months, he'll do like send in your photos, I'll edit them, and then he'll give like whoever sent in that photo.
Yep.
And I'll look at those people like as soon as he comes out with the video, and I'll see their Instagram and whatever, 800 followers or whatever. And I'm like, all right, it'll probably be at 8,000 followers. And the next day it's 950. Like you gain some that'll just follow just because, you know. But it just shows, like, if you don't have a landing page and if you don't have something that really people would follow you regardless of if you're affiliated with Peter McKinnon or any one of those influences, you got to have a valuable product. You're never going to make it big because somebody shouted you out and you're just kind of coasting.
You have one good photo or video. Like you have to have a backlog of those photos and videos, and you have to be able to continue doing into the future. And like for example, I have a friend who is a photographer, and he has some like 9,000 followers on Instagram. Yeah. And some of that came because he shot with a chick. He shot with a girl like somewhere else in the state, and she had a huge following, and you know, she posted some of his photos, and then he had a big following from that. But like he had to continue it, and like he did. He posts like 1 to 2 photos a day. Yep. And like he always talks about how he's losing like 100 or 200 followers every day, and I'm sitting here with like not even 1,000 on Instagram, and I'm just like, okay. But like you have to keep it going. And like he said, like there were days where like I didn't post because like I didn't have a photo, or I had, you know, he had a job that didn't really fit with his photography like career personally. And there were like a month where he didn't shoot with anybody, so he didn't have photos, and he wouldn't post, and he'd lose the following. You're
not just selling one video. When you show somebody, if you go into a company and you're like, this is the video that I can do, you have to have, you're selling more your consistency of your content rather than just one video.
And that's the hardest part, is consistency.
Absolutely.
My girlfriend just the other day was saying that I have to stop in my vlogs. I have to stop saying I'm going to make more videos because it's just cursing me. I know. Because like you're always like, all right, I haven't made a video in a month, but here we go, I'm gonna start making more. And then from there on, you look and there's like no one for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, I shouldn't have said that.
I know. It's tough enough to do once a week for one vlog, one podcast. Yeah. And it's like, I'm not going to put out content if it's not quality content. Yeah, exactly. Like even my last podcast, some of them, we had problems with the mics, and I'm like, do I just skip it? And you got to weigh those odds of, do I just stay consistent and have a podcast even if it's low quality, or, you know, do I skip this week and make sure everything's high quality? But then, you know, what's high quality? What's perfect?
Exactly.
You know,
when you say that, my first thing I think of is, I think it was around December when Peter and Casey did a couple videos together. Yep. And I think it was Peter McKinnon's video, he did kind of like a feature on Casey's shooting. Yeah. And how Casey was like, you can get the best shot, or you can get like the good shot, and good is good enough. Yep. And that, like, because I've always been on Peter's editing style. Yep. But then I like Casey's work ethic to a video with like the time lapses and like all that stuff. Yeah. And like the techie, you know, it's like all over the place. So like it's mixing the two where you want to get the best shot. And I'm notorious for like editing a video and then re-editing the video and then editing it like 4 more times because like if you use a little warp stabilizer, it doesn't look right, or you miss something and it's like, that's wrong, I can't use that. And like it probably was way better than a lot, and probably could have used it, and it's like, that's good, and that's going to be good enough for like a vlog. So it's like, that was a big thing for me to like learn that, where it's like, I want to shoot like the crazy B-roll that Peter shoots, but then I want to be able to get on the consistency that Casey was on for so long. Yeah. It's tough to hit those numbers or hit those goals. Yeah. When you have a full-time job, when you have other things going on, and not to say that Peter and Casey don't, they have a family, they have things, but it consumes your life. Yeah, it does. You got to love it. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing this, working a full-time job, coming to do video work, another full-time job basically, and not loving it. It's just, it wouldn't work. Yeah, you have to. It wouldn't work. I'd go to work, I'd come home from work, and I would, in the middle of my old job, I did a lot of driving. Yeah. Or I'd go get lunch and whatever, and I'd film my talking pieces at that point, and then I'd get home and I'd film the B-roll and the more like bigger parts of the video, and then I'm home, and it's 6:00 at night, and I could sit and watch Netflix, or I could go to my computer and edit my vlog and have it out the next day.
It's always easier to be lazy.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But it's getting those sparks of motivation where you see people interested in your stuff. And even you see yourself getting better. That's the real motivation is you can get, okay, all of a sudden 200, 300% more likes on a photo. And that's some motivation, right? Yeah. You see people are interested in it. But it's when you really notice that you're improving yourself, and whether your workflow is getting faster or your color grading's looking better or whatever it is, it's a cool feeling when you can see the improvement to yourself.
Yeah, especially with video, just in general, like learning new things. Like for me, like for example, the other day when I did my fast to slow motion, like I shoot everything in 60 and render it out at 23 or 30.
Yep.
So I would always like right click on the thing, go to speed and whatever, and change it from 100 to 40, and you get slow motion, and then you cut it, and then you want the next part to be super fast. So you right click, you speed, you go to 1,000. Well, then I was doing that forever, and then I always see people using like the speed tool, like in the effects.
Yep.
Where there's just like a bar, and you can like just put points and like drag the bar up and down.
I didn't know.
Yeah, and like I learned this the other day, and then you can like pull the bar apart, so like it's like a slow, a gradual. Just
like a ramp, yeah.
Yeah, like that's a speed ramping, and like it's doing speed ramping without cutting the clip up a bunch of times and like all this stuff. And I learned that the other week when I was doing videos for like not my job, but like for something else I was out of town for, and I was like, someone asked me like, oh, how do you do that? And I'm like, oh, I do this, but I'm like, I'm going to take an hour, and like, I see people doing it all the time. Like, I'm going to see if I can figure it out. Yeah. Cause I always did it. And I was like, it never worked for me. And then I finally figured how it works. And I'm like, this looks so much better. Cause you don't get that like cut, like you see the cut in the edit.
Absolutely.
And like, not everyone might see it, but like I see it. And that's one of those things where like, I'm like, I don't like that. But so like, yeah, I just learned that like, you drop it down, you put two marks. So you put one mark, this side is 100, this side is 40, and then you want it to speed back up, you put another mark and you drag that bar back up to 100, and you just go, and it does it for you without having to cut it up a bunch of times. And it blew my mind, and like I just learned that like last week.
And it's some of the easiest stuff too. Yeah. It's stuff that like looking back, maybe in 2 years you won't realize how helpful that one lesson was. But I mean that's the reason I'm starting to tap into some tutorials, how to edit in Lightroom, how to do easy stuff that maybe when people go on YouTube that just bought a camera and they're like, how to edit my photos on YouTube, and people are flying through and are like, dehaze this, and this. I mean, I kind of want to target more of a beginner people, because I think people that don't see any of that spark of motivation right away, it kind of quit. They sell their camera, they're done. Yeah. So trying to help those beginners get on their feet and edit a really cool photo that they shot. Yeah. You know, that's kind of my way of giving back, or at least offering value to some of the people that watch my videos.
Yeah. And I've done like very minimal of the tutorial side, but just cause like a lot of times with the way I edit my videos, it feels so weird to me, and like I'll watch like a Peter McKinnon like tutorial, and I'm like, I get that same result, but I do nothing like that. Yeah. So I probably shouldn't do a tutorial, but like it's fine. And I mean, it's really about the end result. I mean, like, for sure, there are easier ways to get there, but if it's still a good video, it's still a good video. Yeah. So.
Well, I think your videos, I mean, man, from what I've been seeing ever since we met, you got some really good content.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm always working. I haven't posted a whole lot. Like, I think I'm filming a vlog currently, like, about coming and doing this podcast. Yeah. And before that, I think my last video I posted on YouTube was like my Seattle, Seattle group of videos, which was in like the beginning of January. So it's been like 2 or 3 months I filmed, and like I kind of touch on it a little bit in my video where like I've been sick and this and that, and like it's all excuses at the end of the day, but I mean it happens. And I've been posting a lot more on Instagram, like short clips and stuff like that. And so it's just trying to build the Instagram, because like I'm not all about the numbers and the subscribers, but it's still nice to have that back a little bit. So.
It feels just more supportive of
everyone can say that like it's not about the numbers, but like I mean it's not, but it gives you like a good feeling when you look at like your Instagram and you have over 1,000, like over 1,000.
Unfortunately,
followers. Yeah. And like I'm at like 580 or something like that. And then like on YouTube, I think I'm at like 470.
Yeah.
And it's like, that doesn't seem like a lot, but then you think about it and you're like, that's still like, I mean, yeah, some of it are friends and maybe family, but that's still 500 people that are subscribed to what I do.
Yep. Dude, I get stoked when I put these podcasts out. Not many people watch them on YouTube. I get like 34 views, and I'm stoked that 34 people took the time out of their day to watch a half-hour podcast.
Exactly.
So it's just showing your appreciation for those people, giving back in some way. Yeah. So trying to tap into my audience and see really what other valuable things I can give them.
Yeah.
You know,
I think I found that some of the more videos I haven't tried on as hard, like one of my most viewed videos right now is I went to the Detroit Red Wings game.
Yeah.
And I just went with my buddy. We got tickets. We went to the first preseason home game at the new arena. So it was like, I labeled it as like the first Red Wings game at the new arena.
Yeah.
But it was, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? And that video like blew up.
Yeah.
It has like some thousand views, and it like, there's no like reason to the video. It's just that me and my buddy drove from Grand Rapids to Detroit for a Red Wings game at the new arena, and I just kind of walked around the arena and filmed and talked to the camera a little bit, and it was the end of the day. Like, and
I'm sure how you structured it, that helped because it really followed that YouTube algorithm. I mean, YouTube loves it when you title something like that, first thing at a big arena.
Yeah, exactly.
That helps. And that's just the knowledge behind doing a business. You need to learn how to do that kind of stuff and help reach a larger audience.
It's YouTube is like a whole nother, like titling videos and tagging videos. It's such a weird thing, because like you don't want to clickbait, because then people will be like, why are you clickbaiting?
I know.
But at the same time, like you want to, because you want people to see the work.
Yeah. And organic growth is tough.
It's very hard. And at one point I'm just like, I'm going to make my videos, and if people want to see them, like I'll post them around, but it's just, I'm doing it for the people, but I'm also doing it for myself. Like, I'm not doing it for the numbers. Like, I'm not doing it for the money, because like, you're not getting paid on YouTube.
Yep.
There was a time, like before YouTube went from like you had to have 1,000 subscribers. Like that was when I was like posting every single day, when like I could monetize my videos. I only had 300 subscribers, and I was monetizing my videos. And I think my like my Google ad revenue, whatever, was at like $70, and you get paid out at 100. And I was like, I'm so close to getting paid out. I need to make more videos.
Yep.
Because I want to get that YouTube check, just to like, this is crazy. YouTube paid me. And then I was at like $81, and they changed it to you have to have 1,000 and like so X amount of like watch time or whatever. Yeah. And it was one of those things where I was like mad for like an hour. I was like, I was so close. But at the same time, it's like, but I'm not like, yes, it'd be cool. It wasn't for getting the money. It was just that YouTube was going to pay me. Absolutely. It was like the big deal.
That's a cool feeling, man. Yeah. That's a really cool feeling.
Or Google or whatever was going to pay me to make videos. And then that happened, and like there's a huge thing on Twitter, and everyone like lost it, and I lost it for like a minute, and I was like, okay, but I'm just not gonna stop making. And I think I made a video about it. I'm like, I'm not gonna stop making videos, like just because they're not gonna pay me now. Like, absolutely. I still want to make videos. So.
Yeah, you got to do it for you. You're always gonna be around. That person that likes your, every video every week isn't always gonna be around, and you got to stay motivated when they leave. Yep. So. Yeah, it's cool watching you grow, seeing what you're doing, and I'm looking forward to staying updated on it.
Yeah, hopefully I can start posting more. I mean, again,
do it, man. Weather's getting nice outside.
That's the big thing for me, is like having a car that I can film, and like having like the accessories to like make videos, because like it's hard sometimes to find something to film.
Well, they have those cars and coffees that we should really meet up at. We should do. I mean, we should team up and do a really cool recap videos.
I try to go to them as much as I can. And now that I'm gonna be living back in Grand Rapids here soon, I'll be like right around the corner. So.
Yep. Well, let's meet up at it sometime. Let's do it.
We'll plan on it.
Make things happen.
Yeah. Right.
All right, man. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And that's a wrap on episode 4 of the Open Late Podcast. Thank you guys so much for taking the time. 54 minutes of the podcast. We talked about a lot. Hope you guys got something out of it. got some value, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Always like to hear from you guys. And we will see you guys on Monday for the vlog. It's going to be a special one. We'll see you there. Bye.